Welcome to Business First Africa, coming to you from the Namibia-EU Business Forum, an opportunity for Europe and Namibia to discover the possibilities in investment in multiple sectors. And we're going to be taking a visit to some of the stands here, talking to some of the business people from Namibia and beyond, as we bring you a well-rounded update with regards to this incredible forum. My name is Ashwyn Mberi. Welcome to the show. I am now joined by Mr. Jackson Karipo, a creative artist who is right here at the Namibia-EU Business Forum, because as you know, the creative industry is not a micro industry, it is a macro industry, and we're always excited about everyone participating in it. Mr. Karipo, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you, my brother?
I'm good. I'm looking at your wonderful art. It is incredible. I'm seeing abstract pieces. I'm seeing symmetrical pieces. The first thing I'm curious about is, how did you start?
It was, how should I say? I was born to be an artist.
Wow.
Yes, like I just imagine from trying to become an architect, studying diesel mechanic that I could not fit in, and eventually going for graphic design. But then the final decision was a doctor telling me to say, Jackson, your eyesight is going bad. And a lot of other things. But then the final decision was, Jackson, what are you very good and passionate about? That's how today I can tell you that I'm a very passionate artist.
Wow.
They chose me. I did not choose art.
Yes.
Yes.
Art chose you.
Yes.
And you know, when you work with more than just the craft itself, you're working from a place of purpose. It's something you can do forever.
Yes.
Without a doubt. And so you're here at the Namibia EU Business Forum with your creative work. Tell us a bit about it.
Oh, okay. Last year, the Estonians were here. Like the culture and heritage event that took place at the Vani Hotel.
Yes.
They, at the end of the day, they ran a competition. And our group, the Creative Field, we actually won the prize, first prize.
Wow.
And they chose us to represent the company.
All right.
Yeah, the heritage company. And because our art was actually the overall winner.
Wow.
So I'm actually representing not just myself, the creator, but also like the people that kind of like believe in the art.
Wow.
Yes,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
And what's it been like for you navigating the creative economy? We know in Namibia we're still struggling with structure. There is energy.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you as an artist who makes a living from their art?
I have to tell you, art is the profession that nobody believes in. But we all know that art is one of those careers that is actually up there.
Yes.
The pinnacle of everything creative around it. Now, when you kind of like fight a stigma to say, when you're like in the creative field of an artist, it's almost like the world does not believe that
it's a real thing.
Yes, it's a real thing. But I have to tell you to say, take any career, whether it's like architecture, whether it's like a doctor, whether it's like the guy building the building, or the guy that is like a building that famous building, who's behind it? It's a creative person that is an artist.
Person.
Yes. You see, like I just imagine, even like with today's health sector, like the best doctors, they could not really just focus on the academics.
No.
But like the hand material that they're using, the equipment, who designed it?
The artist.
The artist, exactly.
Wow.
So art plays a pinnacle role to say, whatever you are, whatever creative field you are, you're playing a very important role.
So
now,
yes.
Now for me, being this, like I just imagine, I'm kind of like, I call myself to say I'm like a dead guy in real estate.
What does that mean? Explain that.
Yes, real estate, like I think when I was in school, like the basic things was like food, clothing, and the house that you stay in.
Yes.
Now just imagine how many houses are all over the world, how many houses are all over Namibia. Now in every house, there's this piece that needs Jackson in it.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we wrap this up, please tell me at least about one of your artworks, whichever one you can lift to the screen.
Okay, because we're like the EU, we're talking about business. Can I talk a little bit about that guy?
Okay, tell us about that guy. We'll overlay him, no problem.
Okay.
Tell us.
Now that guy, it's like the guy that we see each and every day. The guy that is like selling eggs. Like hustling to make money.
Yes.
That person is actually a personal friend. He comes to my studio, always thirsty because he's walking around. And I had to buy a lot of eggs from him in order for me to ask him to say, no, just post sit a little bit of my chair
Yes.
so I can take a picture.
Yes.
But I never told you that I was going to create an art piece out of it.
Wow.
But if I can tell you, it's actually that guy that is selling eggs in Katutura.
Wow.
But as an artist, I took that picture, put some chickens in it.
Wow.
The cock and the hen, put a bicycle in it because, he stays like a deep in Katutura.
Yes.
And most of his customers are like those guys in Kleine Cooper.
Wow.
A little bit going to
over the hills.
Over the hills, going to Rehoboth.
Yes.
Now, when you call him to come and deliver eggs,
yes.
What does he do? He gets on his bicycle and go deliver, like the pizza guys.
Art.
And when he comes back, it's very dark. That picture actually have like a picture of like the paraffin lamp.
Yes.
That we as kids used to, like light our environment before the solar system was there.
Yes, indeed.
Now, that light is actually the one that is making like a visible at night.
My incredible.
Yeah.
That is so
No. That is what the creative person just took out of one tiny little picture that he took.
Expanded the entire world.
Yes.
And that's what, Nina Simone would say, artists have a responsibility to be a reflection of the times of their society.
Yes,
and I feel like that's what you're doing here. Thank you very much, Jackson. I've been talking to Mr. Jackson Karipo, an incredible creative artist.
Yes.
And if I'm to sum up our conversation, it's this. Art isn't just decoration, it is material.
It's material, very important, of utmost importance, if I can say.
Of utmost importance.
Yes.
If you look at our program, like our theme is very much unpacking the AFCFTA and what it entails for African entrepreneurs and what it means for a smaller guy like an SME.
I love it. So it's not just about Namibia, it's about connecting Africans in a borderless manner, if you will, without a doubt. And of course, whilst, making sure all regulations are followed.
Yeah.
But you spoke about the expo. There's an expo coming through very soon. Tell us about that.
So the Invest in Africa platform is an annual platform. In previous years, we called it Discover Namibia. So this is basically a platform where all the investment talks happen, trade connections are made across the continent. So we invite African entrepreneurs, policymakers, business leaders from Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, the rest of Africa, SADC especially, to just come together on the platform and then establish business linkages, collaboration, and then networks.
When is it? Where is it going to be happening?
Taking place on the 28th to the 30th of May in Swakopmund.
All right, Swakopmund, what a lovely place to be. Please come through, Zambians, Zimbabweans. We know you love the beach in Namibia. Come through and let's do business as well. Any word to potential investors, to people who would want to come and showcase their businesses? Anything you'd like to say to them before we wrap up?
I mean, it's an open invitation. Everybody is invited. We have our policymakers, we have keynote speakers from our government, the Minister of Trade. This is a platform that you do not want to miss as an investor because there's a lot of investment opportunities currently now. It's sectoral, it doesn't even, there's tourism, you have hospitality, you have emerging energies, oil and gas. So the conversation is very much investment. And I obviously urge everybody in Namibia, especially SMEs, SOEs, government, embassies to join the conversation, join the platform. And then we also have a closing Africa Day Gala dinner in celebration of Africa Day, which is on the 25th, but then we've extended it to the 30th.
Yes.
So we'll be closing off very strong, celebrating Africa.
If there's one thing about Africans, we know how to extend a celebration.
Exactly.
Right. So that has been Twahaf, and she's been talking to us about the Africa Continental
Invest in Africa Trade Expo and Conference.
Yes. And the leadership?
Africa Economic Leadership Council.
Africa Economic Leadership Council. The word continental just kept ringing in my head because there's this approach where, like we said, you're going with the borderless approach. You're bringing Africans together. And some might say that's what Africa looked like before history was interrupted.
Yeah, we're trying to eliminate borders. I mean, we are all family on the continent. Why not reduce the tariffs?
Yes.
And these are all bottlenecks which hamper trade. So the discussion is, how can we as Africa reduce the trade deficit that we are currently faced with? And this includes movement of goods, movement of services, and movement of people. So it's always been about continental free trade and how we can create awareness around it.
All right.
Yeah.
Do not miss the Invest in Africa Expo. As we said, we are right here at the Namibia-EU Business Forum. And now it's time to talk about food. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Elizabeth Pumatini. I am a nutritionist working for the Nutrition and Food Security Alliance of Namibia,
All right.
also known as NAFSAN.
NAFSAN. Tell us a bit about NAFSAN.
So NAFSAN is a civil society platform or organization, therefore an umbrella body, not an implementing body, with over 30 members. This includes non-governmental organizations, government agencies, and as well as private sectors such as Namibians or Nam dairies, all working together, coordinating efforts to improving nutrition and food security in Namibia.
My goodness. And what are some of the initiatives you have?
So we have three main functions that we do at NAFSAN. One, which is advocating for improved policies. It could be like sugar tax. We all know non-communicable diseases are rising in Namibia. So we are advocating for sugar to be taxed because it has been subsidized and sugar-sweetened beverages. And then the other is developing educational material, which you have seen on our table.
Brilliant.
This is all material that has been curated by NAFSAN, usually offered during Nutrition for Health trainings to organization, companies, any workplace that requires or that wants to hear of nutrition. And then the last but not least is the coordinating efforts, like I've mentioned, between the government agencies and the organization, making sure we're not working in silos, but working together towards one goal.
Yeah. So you are actually invested in creating a healthier Namibia.
Definitely.
My goodness, because we usually look at the big things, smoking, drinking, but the sugar is always there.
And the thing is, with us, we're not just concentrating on one type of malnutrition. With malnutrition, there's three different types of malnutrition, and we try to focus on all three. We're focusing on underweight, undernutrition, which could be the stunting rates. I don't know if you have seen, but the stunting rates in Namibia has increased. That means 1 in every 3rd child is stunted, and that is because of a long period of malnutrition. And not just that, the sugar tax comes to now the overnutrition, which is one of the contributing factors of the lifestyle disease that we see now, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the cholesterol. So we try to educate on all and not leaving one out.
My goodness. And you've got these materials. Do you visit schools?
Like I've said before, we're not really on ground level.
On ground because you're broader.
Yes, we are broader. However, we do have members that work on ground level, and most of the trainings have been given to those people that are working on ground level that usually exceed to more people outside. Within our last project, we managed to train at least 500 facilitators.
Wow.
Which reached to 50,000 Namibian people.
My goodness, that's an amazing feat, and a lot of emphasis has been put on getting fit, but we always forget what we consume is such a huge part of being healthy.
Yes,
that's incredible. And how can we find NAFSAN?
NAFSAN is available online. Our website is www.nafsan.org. We're also on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all social media platforms. Everywhere.
Wherever you can find sugar, you can find NAFSAN with the right message.
Definitely.
All right. Okay, so Elizabeth, one last word to our audience.
I'd like to emphasize that I know that we believe that eating junk food is unhealthy, but it's about how we take it in. So it's not what we eat that makes it unhealthy, but how many times we consume it or how many times we take it in all the time that makes it unhealthy. So once in a while is not bad.
Once in a while is not bad. Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
I am now joined by Khalida Natanga. Did I get that correct?
You got that right.
Fantastic. And she is with the African Green Industries Summit. You said buzzwords which are very popular at the Namibia-EU Forum. African industries, green. Tell us all what you're about.
So what the Africa Green Industry Summit is, it's a platform that brings the government, private sector, investors, and development partners to accelerate Africa's green industrialization.
I like that you said accelerate, because you have to acknowledge that work has been getting done, and arguably Namibia is one of the leaders in making sure that we readjust to green energy. How important do you feel this summit is?
It's extremely important because not only does the summit focus on environmental sustainability, but economic transformation as well. So it's very broad. We're not only focused on renewables, it's critical minerals, we have renewables, agricultural sustainability, everything on the green value chain, that's where it's at. So the summit, not only for Namibia, but for Africa, at large, it's very important that you be there.
I love this because, we were talking to another entity where they've got their Invest in Africa Expo, which is also going to be happening there. I like this borderless approach.
Yes.
When did things finally click for us with regards to industries in Africa? Because right now, as we're heading into new industries, there's a whole lot more unity. Do you get the same feeling?
Yeah, there is a lot more unity because you can't drive something alone. You definitely need partners. You need people to work together to move forward and accelerate Africa because the renewables are there. We have more than enough sun, more than enough wind. So why not let that benefit Africa?
Do you know the last person I heard say that? I was emceeing the Journalism Awards, and I had to sit with the guest keynote speaker, and he just happened to be talking about green energy, and he was actually saying that Namibia is further than most people expect. His name is the late Dr. Hage Jigengo. And so it's nice to see this kind of alignment, to know that this is not just something that has been haphazard. When 9 to 10 September, Soccer Month. I love that all the information is there. That is brilliant. Is this the first of its kind?
It's the first of its kind.
Okay.
It's the first of its kind. We did come from we had the past 2 years, we had the Global Hydrogen Summit,
Okay.
Which won't be taking place this year.
Okay.
However, we saw that if that doesn't take place, there is a gap.
Yes.
There's definitely a gap. So then we have the Africa Green Industry Summit taking place again from the 9th to the 10th of September.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing. Yes.
So after you go to CST Expo, 2 to 4 September, you get a little bit of a break, you drink some water, you fuel up, and then you make your way to Swakopmund for the African Green Industries Summit.
Yes.
Who are you expecting there?
We've earmarked about 600 delegates.
Wow.
Yes, so that includes your ministers, overall delegates, and people in the industry as well. We've also seen that the youth needs to be represented. So we've also, through inclusion partner that we will still announce, we've earmarked about 100 youth.
Wow.
That should be taking place because youth, we are the future.
Yes.
We are the future, so why not equip the youth to do better?
We are the future and the future is green.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ashwyn.
All right, so we will see you at the African Green Industry Summit in Swakopmund. I am now joined by someone who I usually see on poetic stages, creative spaces, and this time she's more or less doing the same thing, but from a more structural space.
I would agree.
You'd agree, right?
Yes.
This is Nita Shikongo, and she is with Basecamp. Tell us about Basecamp, Nita.
So Basecamp is a startup incubator and a business hub. And essentially, we are a home for Namibian startups and businesses.
Wow.
For a very long time, Namibian founders haven't had a community, a central place where they can come and feel safe, come and ask questions, come and just find direction. If I don't know something, I can find out. I can develop business acumen. And so that's really what we are. We are a hub for Namibian business founders.
Wow, that's really cool. And how long have you been around?
We were established in 2022, late 2022. Formal operations kicked off in 2023. So it's been about 3 years now, running programs from early stage ideation level. So that's really somebody who's just got an idea and they want to get it off the ground, to more mature businesses that are already operational and are trying to grow or scale or maybe expand beyond markets for a bit of a market expansion.
All right.
Yes.
And all industries?
All industries, yes. Namibia is quite an early stage ecosystem for us to be severely focused only on one sector.
Yeah,
if we only say we're only focused on health tech or agri-tech, it's very limiting to a lot of the new businesses that are coming up in the ecosystem. So at the moment, we're sector agnostic, but we see a lot of activity in agri-tech, health tech, manufacturing, even the creative industries. We've had a program that just ended end of last year with the National Arts Council called Creative Futures, where we focused on similarly the same concepts of entrepreneurial development, but for the creative industry. So we had the different creative disciplines have experts come in and sort of speak to the entrepreneurs, the founders on running a creative business, but formalizing it. So seeing your creative gift and ability as something that you can support yourself with. Yeah.
And it's nice because you are a creative.
Yes.
You know both words. And when you have creatives in corporate, you get terms like sector agnostic. That's what happens when you're creatives there. What's it been like? I just want to zone in more on the creatives. What's it been like working with creators, helping them create some structure, helping them, create pitches? What's it been like working with them, particularly because we usually find ourselves in informal spaces.
Correct.
We usually find ourselves on the outskirts of the main economy when the creative economy really is important. So what's it been like working personally with creators?
I want to say it's been very eye-opening, particularly because I'm a creative as well. And I want to say that I'm privileged to have a lot of access to this knowledge already, but we're quite hard on creative entrepreneurs, assuming that they already have business acumen. They already know how to structure a business and how to run it. They don't. This is somebody who has a gift in a particular discipline and they're brilliant at it and they're passionate about it, but they might not know how to structure a team around growing a business. They might not know how to manage their finances because they don't have that background, or how to market and sell their product. So it's been a bit of a learning curve because you kind of apply what we do for the general ecosystem to a very niche group.
Yes.
And there were a lot of lessons learned from the first program. We're running a second edition with the Directorate of Arts, having learned that there's certain ways we can articulate information to be better received by a creative entrepreneurial audience, or there's certain information that can be condensed and maybe layman's, for lack of a better word, so that made more accessible, so that they can still benefit same as anybody else who's attending one of our more generic programs. But it was so refreshing to see that we reached all 14 regions.
Wow.
And at the end of the program, even the entrepreneurs that didn't get funding were like, I'm in such a better place than I was when I first joined the program. I know that I'm moving forward with structure. And this is also information because it's made so accessible that I could pass them to somebody else, even if they weren't in the program.
Yes.
So I think that was quite
really
fulfilling.
Cool. So in short, the message is before you climb the corporate mountain, start at base camp.
100%. Thank you.
Camp.
Yes, thank
Where
you.
Where can people find base camp, as you said?
We are a remote-based team, so primarily focused and set up here in Windhoek, because most of our programs are virtual, if not hybrid. But they can find us on all social media platforms at Basecamp Hub, and that's where you can get all information. Our email addresses are on there, and they can reach out with any inquiries. And also see any of our current running programs. The most current is the Agripreneur Innovation Challenge in partnership with UNIDO, the Capricorn Foundation, and the Network for Global Innovation from the United States.
Wow.
So it's an agripreneurial challenge that's really inviting farmers, innovators. You don't even need to be agri-facing specifically, but just to create present a solution or a venture across the agripreneurial value chain that can be scaled not only in Namibia, but across the SADC region. And there's a great cash prize for the top 3 ideas.
Don't forget the cash prize. Thank you very much, Rita.
Thank you, Ash.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Make sure you find at Basecamp Hub.
That's correct.
At Basecamp Hub. I am now at the Creative Sport and Tourism Expo stand. A stand I may or may not be related to, but someone absolutely was the brains behind this. Her name is Carla. And Carla is the head of Synergy Creative. Carla, I love the creativity. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ashwyn?
I am fantastic.
Good.
I really want to talk about the stand. Tell us about it. There's people coloring behind us.
Yes. Isn't that fun?
It's interesting.
Yes.
So anyone could come.
Anyone can come color in. The idea behind the stand was to really create an immersive experience, combining all 3 sectors that we're focusing on, that being creative, sport, and tourism, right?
Yeah.
So the idea behind it was to have each panel, each wall that we have, to be immersive and engaging.
Yeah, right.
So our first wall being our sport wall, the idea was to have our 3 podiums, where that becomes our selfie wall. You're either first, second, or last. And at CSC, everyone's always first. Our second wall is our creative wall. That is our doodle wall. You can come and be meditative and be creative and just enjoy coloring in. It becomes this group project for the entire EU.
Wow.
And our third wall, being our tourism wall, is where we have the VR
Oh,
experience.
that's what she's doing right
That is what she's doing
now.
over
All
there.
right, okay.
So I'm thinking walking around in Sossus Vlei somewhere,
Wow.
fully immersed in this experience. And we really wanted to focus on engaging with our European partners.
Yes.
Should they've not been at Sossus Vlei, they can now go there.
All right.
Yeah.
So this feels like a microcosm of the
Yes.
expo itself, that it's going to be immersive, it's going to be adventurous, it's going to be creative, obviously, sport and tourism.
Yes.
How important is it that these three industries are coming together?
Very important. We really need to put more emphasis on industries that, like you mentioned, are more kind of seen as in a micro sense, and we really need to push it in a macro sense. I mean, really to boost the Namibian economy and create jobs. These are such important sectors to offer that to the youth, to the whole of Namibia.
Yes.
And by promoting these, we can really do that. We can really create a better Namibia by not enforcing, that's the wrong word, by promoting and involving
Yes.
people in these sectors.
All right.
So we're really focused on that and really passionate about it.
I can tell. And speaking of promoting and evolving, you have these CST shirts, absolutely brilliant. Just, I love the logo. I love it. And you had a lot to do with the logo, I imagine, as well.
I did. So initially the brief came on the table and we started brainstorming. And from that, we kind of realized we cannot remove the human from anything we do. And therefore, we created this icon, which we internally refer to as the money key. That's constantly moving, that's constantly evolving, like CST is as well.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. So that's the CST Expo stand. Make sure you don't miss it. 2 to 4 September.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises. From artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.